My phone is so old that Apple's probably going to stop supporting the software updates within the next 2 or 3 years, tops. But yeah, I still use it the same way as you use your phone with your brand new shiny 17 Pro or 18 Pro or 18 Pro Max, whatever the case might be. What I'm pretty much trying to say is that the technology in our phones are advancing way faster than the user activity, if that makes any sense. Let me explain. So let's say you look at a phone from like 5 to 10 years ago. Of course, in comparison, those phones are far less powerful, worse cameras, worse everything, but they're still really good phones that can do anything that we're actually going to be using the phones for. You're just watching TikTok, doom scrolling, taking pictures, Snapchatting, texting people, maybe some FaceTime. Some people might play some video games on their phone, but even the video games you play on your cell phone, most of them probably will still run perfectly fine on my 13 Pro Max. Like, I cannot think of a single task, a single game, a single app that's actually going to like not function correctly. It would be like a completely different experience on my 13 Pro compared to the 17 Pro. Now, yes, the 17 Pro does probably have a better screen and whatnot, but like the 13 Pro also has a good screen. Like, ever since, I don't know, probably between like 2015 and 2020, phones has advanced so much to the point that it's getting to the diminishing returns, if you know what I mean. And it's so common for people to still upgrade their cell phone every year or every 2 years or somewhat very often. I'm gonna just say this right now. If you went from a 13 Pro to a 14 Pro, what's wrong with you, man? Are you crazy? Like, that was actually the smallest jump in an iPhone in terms of like the changes we probably have seen in a super long time. Like, I think the only notable thing that I can even remember that's different from a 14 Pro to a 13 Pro is that the notch in the middle of the screen is a little smaller. Now you have the little island, a little bit more screen that you're not even going to use for anything because it's so tiny. I mean, it's cool, like, eventually, like, when you have all these small changes year after year, and then eventually you have like a phone that's completely different than what it used to be. But that's also why it still makes sense for me to have a 13 Pro Max and not really feel the need to upgrade. Like, don't get me wrong, of course I would like a new phone. Anyone would like a new phone. The 17 Pro specifically does have some really cool features I like about it. The cameras, dude, the cameras are actually a big deal because at nighttime it can capture photos and videos so much better than the 13 Pro Max. So that's honestly one of the biggest reasons why I even want to make an upgrade. And that also makes sense because I'd be using it for a quote-unquote like pro or professional like business or tax, whatever the case might be. Like, I would use it to record content for my car channel, and my car channel can make money and then potentially even pay for their phone. So it would be a legit business investment to get a new phone to have the better camera. Am I gonna do that right now? Of course not, because it's way too expensive. Maybe in the future I'll upgrade to like the 18 Pro or the 19 Pro or whatever the case might be, but as long as my phone don't break and it functions completely fine. I mean, there are some bugs with like iOS 26, I'm not gonna lie, like when you open the phone and it just like freezes with like nothing on the screen for a minute. That's pretty annoying, and some other small little bugs that are not that fun to deal with, but I don't really care that much. You know, like, yeah, it's a little annoying in the moment, don't get me wrong, but I'm not gonna be like, okay, let me spend $1,000, maybe even $2,000 for a brand new phone because of that. I also have high hopes that iOS 27 will fix some of these problems, because I've been hearing people talk about the beta for iOS 27 and claim that older phones will function better, run faster, it will fix a lot of bugs, and just pretty much be a well more polished iOS 26 with some other changes that I kind of forgot because I have not looked that much into it in like maybe a month or two, couple months. I don't even know. You don't need to upgrade your phone that often. I mean, at the end of the day, it's your money, so if you really want to, go ahead, buy the new iPhone every single year. I feel like every single year is a little excessive. Like, going back to the point I made earlier about how like phones that keep on advancing but our user activity is not, does that not make sense? Like, why should you spend all this money to buy a brand new phone with technology that you're not really going to fully utilize? Like, you could do the exact same thing you're doing on your 17 Pro, on a 13 Pro, on a 12 Pro, probably even an 11 or 10 or whatever the case. Okay, 10 is getting to the point that I might be, a little old, that it will slow down, it might not work correctly because of like whatever's going on. I mean, some people claim that Apple will slow down your phone intentionally. I wouldn't be surprised, but 5 years later, I'm still completely content and very grateful to have this iPhone 13 Pro Max. And especially right now, I'm not even physically able to make car content because I'm recovering from a car crash, and driving the car that is my main focus on my car channel is extremely painful and difficult. So like, I literally can't drive the car just sits. And if I can't drive the car I need to make videos with, I can't really make videos. So I don't even have a need for like a really good camera. Of course it would be nice, but I don't need it. We would need a lot of these materialistic things, I guess you could say. The flashy new iPhone with a bright orange color, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. Whenever I see it in public, I do take a glance at it for a moment. I'm like, hey, that's a nice iPhone. I mean, I wouldn't say that to the person. That would be a little weird to just randomly compliment someone's iPhone. But I think it in my head, like, that is a nice iPhone. I've always liked, like, Apple technology. I mean, I have an iPod Touch 5th generation sitting on my decks, and I always glance over it and be like, damn, that is a really nice color on that iPod. It's a really nice design. Like, they designed some cool shit. But phones are kind of just like Snapchat machines, TikTok, especially, dude, TikTok machines, that's the most use that people get out of their phones. Please let me know in the comments, wait, you use your phone for? Especially if I'm wrong, like if you generally do something else that's not just watching TikTok, texting, FaceTiming, Snapchat, using basic apps that's nothing too crazy, please let me know, because I really don't think anyone does do anything different. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are some people who do that. But I don't know what you even be doing. Like, I generally can't think like what's a tax that an iPhone 17 Pro would generally benefit, like, over using it on the 13 Pro. Like, it would generally do better and be almost not even possible on the 13 Pro type deal. Have you ever wondered what really goes on inside of an Amazon warehouse? Well, luckily for you, I used to work at one, and I made a whole video discussing what really goes on in an Amazon warehouse. So just click it to go watch it.